All right, this is the conclusion. Okay, one of the things that we saw was really, really unusual while we were doing our UFO hunt was a red globe. It was going across the sky, and it was solid red. And any conventional aircraft will have some kind of blinking lights, but it went from solid red and then all of a sudden solid white. So that's really, really mysterious. And then, of course, we saw what appeared to be two satellites, and they were coming together like this, and as they got closer, then all of a sudden it powered up. One of them powered up, as giving acknowledgement to the other satellite. That's weird. And then we saw another one. It looked like a satellite, but it was very bright, and it powered up, and it was an intense light. It was very, very bright, and I have no explanation for that. So you, Deanna, you went out there with your skulls.
Yes.
And you went out there with Big Al, and you went out there with Victoria.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I was just holding the skulls, and I was just feeling where they vibrated. When we walk past, we were going from the pond to the creek. Victoria had a dream in this one area, and that's where you saw, or you heard the drum, right? And then we got an orb picture, and then I went down to the pond.
Yeah. Okay. So,
But
and
we
also
saw
too,
that.
while you were doing that, didn't you say that when you were doing your meditation that something powered up and you saw?
Oh yeah, right by us. It was right above us. There was a shooting star, and then we saw it. It was right there. Like, I looked like I could.
So it
reach up to
coincided
it.
with your.
Oh yeah, it was right
Yeah.
when my skulls was vibrating, and I looked up, and there it was. Right after I asked to to receive alien knowledge of light and everything, it was right there. Yeah.
Now, Big Al, while you're doing the ghost hunt with Deanna and Victoria, you observed something. What was that you observed?
I spoke my view, and after I finished saying what I was going to say, a greeting, I did hear with my right ear a bang, one bang of a drum, about 250 yards in the distance. And after that, I took a picture of Victoria and Deanna, and like Deanna said, we got an orb picture, but when we blew it up, you can clearly see a male's face in it. And Deanna and Victoria were out doing their thing out at night, and I stayed away from them. And while I was out there, I became isolated, and I did observe something up in the sky that was really low, and it seemed to notice me and stop, and it kind of flew close to over my head, and I had no idea what that was. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a satellite, too low, or a plane. And you know, there's a lot of activity here, especially UFO activity.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, those lights were odd. I mean, you know, and if you can't identify it, then it becomes a UFO. So is it extraterrestrial? I don't know. But still, it's weird. I don't have any explanation for it. Rod, what was your observations out there?
Yeah, I'm just glad you got to see what we've been seeing for the last 3 years.
Right.
And we saw one of the so-called satellites or unidentified things. It actually made a turn. And there's no satellite that I know that makes a turn.
Across. Yeah.
And a couple of us saw it turn, and it turned.
Wow.
So, and then, like he said, the ones coming at each other with the blinking lights.
Yeah.
And one flashed at the other one, and then the other one, we were all looking at it when it was going by. It was already bright, and it illuminated brighter than any star in the sky.
We're using night vision goggles, binoculars, telescopes, and we're also too signaling what possibly were UFOs with flashlights, and to see if we got any kind of signal back, but we didn't. Sina, did you observe anything?
Well, there was these two satellites, and they were following each other, and then there was two that were far apart but still going the same way, and that's about it.
Okay. And Drew, did you observe anything?
No, I got out there kind of late.
Okay.
So
But you have seen things in the past.
Yeah, I've seen many things before. from falling stars getting real bright, then fading off, and what appears satellites, maybe not, like side by side going.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you observed this or not, but Victoria was talking about the string of lights. Can you talk about that? You saw the string of lights?
It was a time me and my dad, we were at a pool out up the road a little ways, and it overlooks Beale, so you can see everything going on. But there's a hillside to the side of us, and I look over to that direction. I see this red light coming over the hill, and I didn't know what it was, and I'm looking, and there's this big object. I don't really know what it was. It's kind of like an oval shape. It was some kind of UFO, and it was covered in red lights, but the red lights looked like veins going throughout the entire thing. So it was not like a single light or anything. They were all connected, and it was just like a web of lights through the whole object. And I got in the car. I was scared, and my dad went outside of the car and was looking at it, and then eventually it just flew off over the other hill, and we couldn't see it anymore. And there was no noise to it at all. It was completely silent. But that's it.
So I think this was a very productive night. Like I said, I can't explain the red globe that turns white. I mean, that's just weird. I mean, don't you think so, Big L? Is
Yes.
that weird? And we can't explain it. We can't say it's a conventional aircraft. We can't say, what it was. So it comes out to be a UFO. And so I want to thank Cheryl. Cheryl, if you take a look at these cookies and this cake right here, and she had coffee for us. And then her daughter is a really good artist, and she drew this for Deanna. I'm going to get that on camera. So that's really nice. And what is that going to go in your book?
Yeah, and I'll put it on teardropsofangel.com too.
She always plays her website. So anyway, but it was a very productive night. Thank you so much, Rod, for having us.
Thank
here.
you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.